Hello, this is our agenda and objectives for the week of April 19th. Our objective for this week is to be able to solve a quadratic equation by factoring. That's our major objective. The other thing that we will be focusing on will be taking that sketch of the graph of the quadratic equation and linking it together with our knowledge of what we know by the end of this week by solving a quadratic equation. And so what we will be working on this week is first a review of all of the different types of factoring. Now, if you remember, we worked on this for 4 to 5 weeks before spring break. So although I will do a real general review, if you need any detailed information, you can always go back to those past modules and look at the different types of factoring. This video is a little bit longer, it's about 20 minutes, but please know that you could stop and start in between any problem. I think I did 8 problems in a lot of detail, and if you need to break at any point to stop and process, just stop and then restart whatever you need to. And then after your video, you know that you have your assessment, and the assessment is due at 9 a.m. On April 26th. So we always know assigned on a Monday, due on a Monday. Now we definitely want to do this first, because then when we go into our video and notes for this week, they are going to use factoring. And so we want to make sure that we really review it up here first. Okay, I broke the lesson into 2 parts this week. One of this is a pre-lesson. There are 2 things that I want you to know ahead of time going into the lesson. And so this is a real quick 6-minute or so video going through those 2 specific concepts. Now, when you get into the lesson, this is a little bit longer because I go in very detail into the steps of solving by factoring with several different problems. In fact, every different type of factoring that we'll see. And so you might want to stop and start as you need to take time to be able to process between problems. Okay? When you're done with your new notes for this week, then you do want to go and, there we go. You do want to go and work on your formative assessment. And remember that as you're going through your formative assessment, this is your practice. You can do it multiple times. That if there's something that you can't do on there and you go back and you look at your notes and you can't figure it out, then please make sure that you come to one of these Zoom sessions. Be prepared to ask me a question about that particular problem. And these Zoom sessions are very informal. You ask your question, we work through it, and maybe practice one that's similar to make sure that we understand it before we move on. Okay? When you are satisfied that you have learned the concept, you have done well on the formative assessment, then remember that you need to take your summative assessment. This is like your test. It's set up to only take 1 attempt. And remember that both of these are due on Monday, April 26th, and that is at 9 a.m. As always, if you have any questions, just go ahead and Canvas message me.